Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming here today. The Maur Der Toten Easter egg was solved in less than a day. We got the cutscene and it was pretty fucking interesting. I ain't making the video because I care that Samantha's eyes are glowing, pretty much confirming her as a zombie. Or the fact that Chop from GTA 5 is now part of Cold War, meaning the final cutscene in the last Cold War Zombies map will clearly just be a Lamar roast meme, except it'll be Dempsey and Richtofen. Nigga. But in the end cutscene, it was a new mystery that I have dedicated minutes of research into figuring out who this is ever since I completed this Easter egg first in the world 1 hour after launch, but unfortunately the footage I have to prove this was eaten by the dog in the cutscene. And after that I decided to repeatedly stub my toe for hours. But right now the fucking wonder weapon is more of a character than the Requiem director from the final cutscene. But seriously though, why does this fucking gun seem to be more interesting of a character than Malton? But I've come to a conclusion as to who the director is, and believe me, it will blow your minds. I'm only saying that just to try and trick the 10-year-olds into thinking this will be worth staying for. To figure this out though, we must look back at the cutscene. It is now confirmed that Samantha is actually Jesus Christ. Her initials are secretly JC, as in JC Backfire, one of the many neeks in the zombies community. Are you with me so far? And one thing you may not know is that the word neeks is actually an acronym, and it stands for never ever kill yourself, because chances are Treyarch will only then and there make the greatest zombie map of all time and you'll miss out on that and end up being really salty. See, the reason that firebase Z ended up sucking so much is because it was too small and unimpressive. And you know what else is too small and unimpressive? That's right, Black Ops 4's Misty's chest. See, in Black Ops 2, no one had any issues with Misty, and that's because she just had the most personality out of all the characters in zombies, until Jessica from Shadows of Evil came into the conversation, and all the boys have decided that they prefer the start of the Treyarch's hentai porno cutscene. And have you ever wondered why you have never seen this cutscene? Well, remember when Treyarch said that there was an unsolvable Easter egg in Shadows of Evil? That's because this secret cutscene that exists somewhere in the universe is that unsolvable Easter egg, and something that isn't solved remains a mystery being the identity of the director. Are you with me so far? Okay, so now, what if I told you that we already knew who the director is, except this isn't the same director from Maur Der Toten? We're going back to the days of Black Ops 1, Call of the Dead, George Romero, and he was also Jesus Christ, as he was an immortal being, and not even the most powerful wonder weapon in zombies, the VR-11, could keep him dead forever. See, the reason George is also the Lord is because the zombies worship him more than anyone ever. In the intro cutscene to Call of the Dead, George was never actually kidnapped. No, he just really needed to shit, but he still really wanted to keep on filming the movie they were making, this being the live-action Call of Duty Zombies movie that will be made in the year 2030, which is 9 years from now. But the zombies saw George wasn't taking care of himself and didn't want him to shit himself in front of everyone, because that would be embarrassing. And that's when the zombie grabs George and takes him to the toilet, where he unfortunately died because he shat out all his insides and ended up coming back as a zombie. And the reason he rises from the water at the start of the map is because there wasn't a sink anywhere to wash his hands, so he had to use the water all around him. And when the VR-11 makes George leave, it's not because it hurts him, but it's because the gun tells him he smells like shit and should go wash himself. And while George was taking a shit, that's when Robert Englund finally says something without getting hit in the face. And Robert Englund is also Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street series. And it was from that revelation where I had the most incredible breakthrough in my research. This is where things turn out to be fucking insane. Remember at the end of the cutscene we helped Kravchenko out and we think there is a truce, but instead he ends up snaking us. But hold on a second. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? See, there is another snake within zombies. Mr. Noah Snake 456 himself. And have any of you noticed how this map was released the day before Friday? See, if you take the numbers from Noah Snake 456, you learn something truly crazy. See, 4 add 5 equals 9. And add the 6, you get 15. And then if you take 5 away from 4, you get 1. And if you do nothing with the 6, it remains as a 1-digit number. And 1 add 1 is 2. And 15 take away 2 is 13. And the map was released on the day before Friday. Friday and 13. Friday the 13th, as in the other horror movie series that the Nightmare on Elm Street was the rival of. And who was the main killer in that series? None other than Jason, as in the prophet himself, Jason Blundell. See, Jason Blundell left Treyarch, but then made his return with JC, who we've already established to be linked with Jesus Christ because they have the same initials. We've also already established is actually Samantha, making this the second time Jason has done a collab with JC, and the reason for this is because he will only allow those who are also omnipotent beings to communicate with him. And I know this because when I tweeted at JC telling him how his smile makes me erect, I received no response, thus proving that Jason Blundell is also God. And this also confirms that Lee Ross and the guy who made World War II Zombies are also part of the Holy Trinity, as you can see them all together having a pint. You're probably wondering who took this picture, and the simple answer to that is that the Requiem director is the one who took this picture. And so on to my final conclusion. See, the Holy Trinity community is made up of the lead directors of COD Zombies for their games. And Zombies was made in World at War back in 2008, 13 years ago. And 13-year-olds are the main age group who play the current Battle Royale games like Fortnite and Warzone. But what if I told you that even though the 13-year-old gamer is a primitive, unevolved species of humanity, they are also the wisest creatures to ever exist, because no matter what you ask them, they will always have an answer. For example, you could ask one of them who is the current president of the United States, and it is almost guaranteed that the 13-year-old gamer will say, "Your mom!" And that's to answer the big question that this video is about. Who is the director of Requiem from the Cold War Zombies Maur Der Toten Easter egg ending? Ladies and gentlemen, the answer to that is your fat mom. Honestly, if you stayed to the end of this, fair play to you. But also, get fucking mad, bitches.